Nice.
Thank you very much. Hate to differ with my good friend, but I'm very supportive and very appreciative of the amendment that Ms. McCollum's brought. The numbers here are simply staggering. Literally 1 in 3 women that live on a reservation will be either sexually assaulted or raped in a lifetime. And most of the people that participate in those crimes are non-natives. And you say, well, why is that? Well, it's because they know 2 things. You know, hunters know where to hunt, fishermen know where to fish, predators know where to prey. And they go to places of very limited jurisdiction and very limited resources, and they can do these things. And by the way, that's not just obviously sexual assault. That's true with, drugs and all sorts of crimes. So this is actually an area where Congress has tried to do some things in recent years, and they can be very proud of it. The Violence Against Women Act, actually strengthened tribal jurisdiction in cases of domestic assault and sexual assault. So that's good. But at the end of the day, you have to have resources. You really have to. And these are some of the, not just most crime-ridden, but some of the poorest places in the country. The average Indian reservation has about 1/3 the number of officers per square mile that any other part of rural America has. And this is a federal responsibility. These are communities that don't even have the right to tax themselves. So, you get robust law enforcement in some areas. If you happen to be a gaming tribe and you happen to have, a good thing, you might be able to do it. But if you're in the middle of the Dakotas, or you're someplace isolated in the Southwest, you don't have those kind of resources available to you. So this is one, frankly, where our good friends in the Judiciary Committee, I think, have just overlooked this. I don't want to be critical of them, and I don't mean it in that way, but I think I've actually talked to a number of them, and they think, well, we give it to the states, and then they can do it. That's not what happens. That's not what happens. That's why you get less than 0.5%, of the crime victim fund. So this is an opportunity for us to flag this. If we have to go through a procedural fight, that's fine. But the idea, we're not going to be any worse off, and we might be better. And I think the gentlelady is doing a great job. I also want to quickly mention Mr. Calvert and Mr. Simpson. Mr. Calvert, of course, chairs the Interior Subcommittee, which my friend is the ranking member on. Mr. Simpson before him. They've been leaders in this, too. They've done what they can do within very limited resources. It's been an area our committee's prioritized, but this is a big pot of money. It ought to be going to some places that are the worst hit in the country in terms of crimes and drugs. With that, I yield back.
Mr. Cole,